Hello everyone, my name is Iggy, and today let's talk about what happens when a player, like myself, turns into a dungeon master for the first time. Let's find out my initial preparations, realizations, and talk about online D&D. I have been a Dungeons and Dragons player for over 4 years now, playing multiple campaigns, dungeons, one-shots, and even Adventurers League at some point. I've played it with friends, co-workers, and people I've never even met before. And it was an amazing experience. After the last campaign with my friends, I wondered if I could try DMing for once to give our dedicated DM a break and make him the player instead. The first thing I did was research. I watched countless videos on YouTube on being a dungeon master. I asked my friends for tips and guidance, and it was all helpful that it inspired me to start a campaign early as a test. So a few days before the test, I made an initial story. Nothing too big, just enough for a one shot. I prepared a program in Tabletop Simulator because it was during quarantine, created characters and the setting all in my head. I believe that I was ready. Yeah, I can do this, I said. Then arrived the day of the test, and I was nervous as heck, suddenly panicking at all the possible choices the players could make. What if someone said this? What if they go there? What would happen if they don't go to the place or map I created? All of those suddenly struck me the moment I woke up in bed that day. I didn't really do anything about it until the time came up. And finally, the moment arrived. My friends and I were all in Discord and ready in Tabletop Simulator. And as the game started, progressed, and ended, I was a total mess. I had a lot of pauses. I made NPCs talk to the player like I was forcing progression in the story. Battles seemed to take forever. I had to pull new stuff on the line. The music had epic boss battles while talking to the tavern keep, and I've been sweating for the majority of the session. I didn't really realize how intense it was being a dungeon master. Even while my friends were really very supportive, like commenting some of the voices I did for the orcs and goblins, efforts in creating TTS, and a reasonable ending to the one shot, it still seemed to me that it was not the complete experience. But I did learn and have fun. And that's what counts, right? A few months later, I decided it was time to go 200% in being a dungeon master. This time, I was determined to make a good story and have some fun with my friends, creating a world that they'll hopefully never forget. So the first thing I did was to take some references and inspiration from stories of shows, books, and cartoons that I absolutely love. Some of which are The Dragon Prince, Critical Role, Knights of the Old Republic, Elder Scrolls, Adventure Time, Lord of the Rings, and many more. I revisited certain parts of these stories, and it really helped me shape the world and create unique characters, or a combination from some of them. And with my newfound inspiration, I started writing and writing, and writing I did. A lot. Unlike the players and their backstories, I should have realized how much writing goes into being a dungeon master. I think that ideally the dungeon master has to prepare so much, from the world lore to possible character stories, history, cults and religions if there are new ones, and then integrating the player backstories into the campaign's lore. The DM, I think, would also prepare all possible choices his players could make, how the NPCs, kingdoms, and organizations and parties would react to certain choices the party makes. And there is just so much. And to be honest, it was really fun thinking and writing all about those stuff. D&D really brings out the creativity in you, I feel. So I started writing it down on my notebook and Evernote because I've always been the type of person to remember stuff more only if I write it down myself. I'm not sure if that's how other people do it too, but I have been using that technique since my childhood days and it's worked wonders. So I started writing, and honestly, it felt good. Every new idea that popped in my mind just jammed in that notebook. It was an amazing feeling that I continued to do until the very first session. The next step was setting up the program for our online D&D. Now, I can use this chance to segue the online D&D topic. And from where I'm from, there's still social distancing and quarantine. So again, I would have to go with using a program where me and my friends would connect and play. Looking back on Tabletop Simulator, while it was a great program with many workshop mods to help with creating a session, it just didn't feel like it was made for D&D in general. I'm sure there are a lot of ways to make it easier to play D&D there, and I may have missed it. But that's okay because I just recently discovered Roll20 and Foundry, both amazing apps that are dedicated to the game of D&D. Foundry also offers amazing animations for spells, potions, and effects that just blew my mind when I first saw it. I just had to use it. And unlike traditional table meetup D&D sessions, online programs add an extra learning curve. Even dedicated programs like Roll20 and Foundry for D&D, it's just something new. The map making, lighting, settings, and setting up the battles just differs from tabletop D&D. But even if it's difficult to learn at first, once you and your players understand it, it can be pretty cool. What do you guys think about online D&D and tabletop D&D sessions? Anyway, now came the day for our first game. This time I wasn't planning on making a one shot, but instead a full campaign. I knew it was going to be a challenge, but I'm up for it. Everything was ready. Unlike the one shot, my notes were ready, I slept early last night, I created possible interactions and maps for the session. I read all my players' backstories and merged them into my world's lore. NPCs were noted in a clean way with how they would be voiced, and the monsters were all set. And the feeling that I had going into this game was just mind-blowing. I didn't feel any sorts of anxiety at all. I felt prepared, I felt ready, I felt inspired to tell this story to my friends and have them explore the world I built for them. So, to summarize, being a DM isn't as easy as it seems. You write, and write, take notes, you be inspired. Learn from every session. Don't just tell the story. Play the game with your friends and enjoy. And hopefully, your players don't one-hit your monsters. Now I wonder what the players will do next. I can't wait to find out. If you like content like this and would like to know more about the episode 2 of the campaign, leave a like and subscribe. I've also linked the VOD for the first session in the description. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you're from. Peace!